My name is Ethan Carter, and I used to believe love was the strongest thing a person could have. I did not have money, power, or a perfect life, but I had one thing I trusted completely: my loyalty. I thought if I gave someone my heart, they would protect it. Ethan, why are you still working when everyone else is relaxing? I smiled when I heard Claire Wilson's voice behind me. Because dreams do not build themselves, Claire. She laughed softly. You always say things like that. Do you know what I like about you? What? You never pretend to be someone else. Those words stayed with me for years. I met Claire when my life was simple. I was working long hours, saving every dollar, and trying to create a future. Claire was different. She had dreams, ambition, and a heart that made me believe tomorrow could be better. You know, you could choose an easier path, Claire told me one night. Maybe, but an easy path is not always the right one. She looked at me carefully. Ethan, promise me something. What? Never let success change who you are. I held her hand. I promise. But you promise me something too. What? Stay with me, even when things get difficult. Claire smiled. I promise. For a long time, I believed that promise was unbreakable. My best friend Ryan Mitchell had known me since childhood. He was the person who stood beside me during my hardest days. You are lucky, Ethan, Ryan told me after meeting Claire. Why? Because you found someone who believes in you. I laughed. Yeah, I really am lucky. Ryan smiled, but something in his expression felt strange. I ignored it because I trusted him. Years passed, and Claire and I built our relationship slowly. We did not have expensive dinners or luxury vacations. We created memories from small moments. I do not care about expensive things, Claire told me. What matters then? You. I believed her. But slowly, things started changing. Claire began asking questions I had never heard before. Ethan, have you ever thought about becoming more successful? I looked at her. Of course I have. I work every day for that. I mean faster. Faster. Sometimes waiting too long means losing opportunities. I felt something different in her voice. Claire, is something bothering you? No, I just want more for us. I want more too. I just want to build it the right way. She looked away. Sometimes the right way takes too long. I remembered those words. Around that time, I heard more about Alexander Reed. He was powerful, wealthy, and respected by many people. He was also someone I had competed against in business. Alexander thinks money solves every problem, I told Ryan. Ryan shrugged. Maybe because money solves most problems. I stared at him. Since when do you admire him? I do not admire him. I just understand reality. I did not argue, but I felt something changing around me. One evening, Claire arrived late to meet me. Sorry, Ethan. Where were you? Just handling something. Something you cannot tell me. She became quiet. Why are you questioning me? Because you feel different. Claire sighed. Maybe I'm tired. Tired of me? No. But her answer came too quickly. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe the girl who promised to stay beside me still felt the same. A few days later, I noticed Claire holding a luxury business card. Who gave you that? She quickly placed it away. Someone from work. Who? She hesitated. Alexander Reed. My heart tightened. Why were you meeting Alexander? Ethan, calm down. It was only a conversation. About what? Opportunities. What kind of opportunities? She looked uncomfortable. I do not know why you are acting like this. Because Alexander is not someone I trust. You do not know him personally. I know enough. That night, I cannot sleep. My mind kept replaying every conversation, every promise, every moment. The next day, I followed my doubts instead of ignoring them. I saw Claire standing outside a restaurant. She was not alone. Alexander Reed was there. I watched them talk from a distance. Then I heard Alexander say, "You made the right choice." My heart stopped. Claire answered, "I hope so." I felt the world around me become silent. The girl who once promised to stand beside me was now standing beside the one person I never expected. I whispered to myself, "Claire, what did you choose?" I walked away before they saw me. For the first time, I questioned everything. Was our love real? Was every promise just a beautiful lie? I had spent years believing Claire was my future. Now I wondered if she had already chosen my enemy over me. That night, I returned home and stared at the old photos of Claire and me. Was I the only person who believed in us? I asked the empty room. I wanted answers, but I feared the truth. The next morning, Ryan called me. Ethan, are you okay? Why are you asking? Because you sound different. Ryan, did you know Claire was meeting Alexander? There was a long silence. Ethan, that silence tells me enough. I was going to explain. Explain what? That my best friend knew and said nothing. Ryan sounded nervous. I did not want to hurt you. I closed my eyes. You already did. After the call ended, I realized something painful. The betrayal did not begin when I saw Claire with Alexander. It began when the people closest to me stopped choosing me. Still, a small part of my heart refused to accept it. I believed Claire would explain everything. I believed there was a reason. I believed the promise she made was stronger than any temptation. But deep inside, I felt the beginning of a storm that would change my entire life. I knew my world was about to break, but I was unprepared forever. My hands were shaking when I stood outside Claire's apartment. I had spent the entire night trying to convince myself there was an explanation. I wanted to believe I misunderstood everything. I knocked. Ethan. Claire opened the door, and her expression changed when she saw my face. We need to talk, I said. About what? About Alexander Reed. Her silence hurt more than any answer. Ethan, please come inside. No, I need the truth first. She looked away. What did you see? I saw you with him. Ethan, it was not what you think. Then tell me what it was. Claire took a deep breath. Alexander offered me an opportunity. An opportunity? Yes. And you thought meeting him secretly was the right thing? I did not want to hurt you. But you did. Her eyes filled with sadness. I was confused. I laughed bitterly. Confused? Claire, we built our entire future together. I know. You promised you would stay with me. I remember. Then why were you standing beside the person who wanted to beat me? Claire became quiet. That silence destroyed something inside me. I need to understand one thing, I said. Did you choose him? She looked at me for a long moment. I chose a different future. Those words felt like a knife. So you did. Ethan, please listen. No, I listened for years. I believed every promise. I still care about you. Caring about me does not mean choosing me. She wiped her tears. You do not understand what I was feeling. Then explain. I was tired of struggling. I was tired of waiting for things to change. I stared at her. So my love was not enough because I was not rich enough. That is not what I said. That is what you meant. Before Claire could answer, a familiar voice interrupted. Ethan, maybe you should accept reality. I turned around. Alexander Reed stood there. My anger immediately returned. What are you doing here? Alexander smiled calmly. I think this conversation concerns me. No, it concerns my relationship. Alexander looked at Claire. Claire already made her decision. I looked at her. Is that true? She lowered her eyes. Ethan, answer me. Yes. The word destroyed me. Alexander stepped closer. You cannot give Claire the life she wants. I clenched my fists. You think money makes you better? No. Results make people valuable. I felt humiliated, but I refused to break in front of him. You always thought winning was everything. Because losing has consequences. I walked away. I did not fight for Claire because I finally understood something. A person who chooses another path cannot be forced back. The next morning, I received a call about the business position I had worked months to earn. Mr. Carter, we regret to inform you that the position is no longer available. I froze. What happened? We received new information regarding your situation. My situation? I am sorry. The call ended. I immediately knew. Alexander. I called Ryan. Did you know about this? Ethan. Did you? Ryan stayed silent. That means yes. I wanted to tell you. When I found the right time. I laughed. The right time? Ryan, my entire life was falling apart. I was scared. No, you were protecting yourself. That is not fair. Fair? Was it fair watching me trust you while you knew everything? Ryan had no answer. I thought you were my brother. I'm sorry. Sorry does not change what happened. I ended the call. For the first time in my life, I had nothing. I lost Claire. I lost my opportunity. I lost the person I thought would stand beside me. That night, I sat alone and stared at the ceiling. A part of me wanted revenge. I wanted Alexander to feel the pain I felt. I wanted Claire to understand what she lost. But another part of me asked a different question. If I become like them, what do I really win? I close my eyes. I cannot stay broken forever. The next few days were painful. I searched for work, but every door seemed closed. Alexander's influence reached everywhere. Then I found an old box in my father's storage room. Inside were documents I had never seen before. I opened the first file. My father's company name was written across the page. My heart started racing. What is this? I read every document carefully. The information shocked me. Alexander Reed was connected to my father's downfall years ago. I found records, hidden agreements, and proof that someone had destroyed my family's business. I whispered, Alexander did this. My hands tightened around the papers. Suddenly, my pain changed. It was no longer only about Claire. It was about the truth. I looked at the documents again. You took everything from my family. For the first time since losing everything, I felt something different. Not sadness, not weakness, determination. I knew I had a choice. I could disappear and let Alexander win. Or I could stand up and uncover every secret he buried. I looked at the evidence in my hands. Alexander Reed, you thought you destroyed me. I took a deep breath, but you only showed me what I needed to fight. I spent that night reading every page again. Each document revealed another piece of the truth. My father had trusted people who betrayed him, and now I understood my own mistake. I had given my trust too easily. The next morning, I visited my father's old office. I touched the empty desk and whispered, I'm going to fix this. I remembered everything I lost, but I also remembered everything I learned. I called Sophia Bennett, someone I had met during my search for answers. I need your help, I said. Ethan, what happened? I found something connected to Alexander. Are you sure? Yes. I finally know why he wanted me gone. Sophia became quiet. Be careful. Powerful people do not accept losing. I know. Then what will you do? I looked at the documents. I will fight, but I will do it the right way. For the first time in weeks, I felt control returning to my life. Claire had chosen Alexander. Ryan had chosen silence. Alexander had chosen destruction. But I was going to choose myself. I placed the documents safely away and prepared for the battle ahead. My heart still hurt, but my pain was no longer controlling me. I was no longer the man who begged someone to stay. I was the man who finally understood his own worth. From that moment, I used to believe losing everything meant my life was over. After Claire left, after Ryan betrayed my trust, and after Alexander destroyed my opportunity, I spent many nights wondering if I had anything left to fight for. But one morning, I looked at myself in the mirror and asked a simple question. Ethan, are you going to stay broken? I stayed silent. Then I answered myself. No, I did not wake up stronger overnight. I was still hurt. I still remembered Claire's words. I still felt anger whenever I thought about Alexander. But I understood one thing. If I wanted to defeat someone like Alexander, I could not remain the same person he destroyed. I needed to change. That was when I met Sophia Bennett. I found her through a business event where I was looking for advice. I expected another person to ignore me because of my situation. Instead, Sophia listened. You have an interesting background, Sophia said. I smiled slightly. Interesting is another word for complicated. She looked at my documents. You lost a company opportunity, someone you loved, and a friendship. Sounds like you know everything. I know people, and I know pain. I looked at her carefully. What do you want from me? Nothing. Nothing. No. I want to know what you want from yourself. Her question surprised me. I want to rebuild. Why? Because I want revenge. Sophia closed the file. That answer will destroy you. I frowned. Why? Because revenge makes you focus on the person who hurt you. Growth makes you focus on becoming someone they cannot hurt again. Her words stayed in my mind. I trusted the wrong people, I said. No, Sophia replied. You trusted without protecting yourself. I looked down. That sounds like a mistake. It was. But mistakes can become lessons. For the first time in months, someone did not treat me like a failure. Sophia gave me a chance. She introduced me to new business opportunities and helped me understand how successful people think. Ethan, your biggest strength is also your weakness. What do you mean? You care too much. Is that bad? Not at all. But kindness without boundaries becomes a weakness. I nodded slowly. I never thought about it that way. That is why you lost. Her words were painful, but they were true. Meanwhile, I started hearing rumors about Claire and Alexander. At first, I did not want to believe them. Then I saw Claire one evening. She looked different, not happy, not excited, just tired. Claire. She turned around. Ethan. We stood there silently. How are you? She asked. I am rebuilding. She looked surprised. I heard you were struggling. I was. And now I am learning. Claire looked away. I am glad. I studied her expression. Are you? She sighed. Things are not what I thought they would be. I knew exactly what she meant. Alexander? She nodded. He is not the person I believed he was. I almost laughed. Now you understand? Ethan, please. I stopped myself. Part of me wanted to say, I told you. But another part remembered how much I once loved her. What happened? I asked. Claire looked upset. He only cares about winning. And you thought that was enough? She lowered her eyes. I was wrong. Those words should have made me happy. They did not. Because regret cannot erase damage. A few days later, Ryan came to see me. When I opened the door, I was not surprised. I was disappointed. Why are you here? Ryan looked nervous. I need to talk. I think we already talked. No, you were angry. And I had a reason. He looked down. I made a mistake. I crossed my arms. You knew everything. I was scared. You were scared of Alexander. Yes. And you were willing to sacrifice me? Ryan closed his eyes. No, but you did. The silence between us was heavy. I thought Alexander would help me, Ryan admitted. So that was it? I thought being close to him would improve my life. I laughed sadly. And did it? Ryan shook his head. No. He used you. I know. I looked at my old friend. A part of me wanted to forgive him. Another part remembered the pain. I did not know if I can trust you again. Ryan nodded. I understand. He walked away. I watched him leave, wondering if forgiveness was something I could give. But I was not ready yet. My focus returned to Alexander. With Sophia's help, I started investigating my father's old business records. One night, I found something hidden inside an old folder. The name on the document made my heart stop. Alexander Reed. I read the papers carefully. Years ago, Alexander had worked with people who destroyed my father's company. My hand started shaking. No. I checked the documents again. The truth became impossible to ignore. Alexander was not just my enemy because of Claire. He was connected to the reason my family lost everything. My father's dream. My family's security. Everything. I whispered, you did this. I felt anger rising inside me. But this time I controlled it. I remembered Sophia's words. Do not let anger control your decisions. I closed the folder. Alexander thought he destroyed me. He thought taking Claire and my future would be enough. He was wrong. Because the man he broke was gone. The man standing now was someone different. Someone stronger. I picked up my phone and called Sophia. I found the truth. What truth? The reason Alexander wanted me gone. There was a pause. Ethan, what did you find? I looked at the documents. Proof that Alexander destroyed my father's company. Sophia became serious. Are you ready for what comes next? I looked out the window. Yes. Why? Because this is no longer about losing Claire. I tightened my grip on the papers. This is about finally taking back what was stolen from me. For the first time, I did not feel like a victim. I felt like a survivor. I spent weeks collecting evidence against Alexander Reed, but I refused to let anger control my actions. I remembered Sophia's advice every time I felt my emotions rising. Ethan, are you sure you want to do this? I looked at Sophia. Yes, but I do not want revenge that destroys me. Then what do you want? I want the truth to come out. Sophia nodded. That is the difference between you and Alexander. He destroys people to feel powerful. You're trying to protect yourself. I looked through the documents on my desk. Years ago, he took everything from my family. Then he tried to take everything from me. Do not make this personal. How can I not? Because your future is bigger than your past. Her words helped me stay focused. I started releasing the information carefully. I did not attack Alexander with rumors or lies. I used facts. I showed records, agreements, and proof of the damage he had caused. At first, nobody believed me. Then people started asking questions. Ethan, do you really have proof against Alexander Reed? Yes. Are you afraid of what he can do? I was afraid before. I'm not anymore. Every day, more secrets appeared. Alexander's business partners began leaving. His reputation started falling. For years, he had controlled the story. Now the truth was speaking for itself. One evening, Sophia looked at the news on her computer. You did it. I shook my head. No, the evidence did it. You are different now. Different? Yes. Before, you wanted him to suffer. Now you only want justice. I smiled slightly. Maybe losing everything taught me something. What? I cannot control what people do to me, but I can control what I become afterward. That night, I received a message from Claire. I need to talk to you. I stared at the screen for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore her. Another part remembered the girl who once held my hand and promised forever. I agreed to meet. When Claire arrived, she looked nervous. Ethan, thank you for coming. I almost did not. I know. We sat quietly. I heard about Alexander. Yes. I know what happened. What do you mean? I know you were right about him. I looked away. Claire, being right does not make anything better. I know. Do you? She took a deep breath. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Those words hurt more than I expected. Why did you leave? Claire looked down. I thought money would solve everything. And did it? No. What did it give you? Everything I thought I wanted, but nothing I actually needed. I stayed silent. I thought Alexander could give me security. I thought your dreams were too small. Her voice became quieter. I was wrong. I remembered all the times I believed in her, all the promises, all the moments. But the person sitting in front of me felt different. I loved you, Claire. I know. No, I do not think you understand. I built my entire future around us. I know, and I am sorry. I looked at her. Sorry cannot bring back the person I was. She wiped her tears. Can we start again? I felt pain in my chest. A part of me wanted to say yes, but I knew I could not return to the past. I forgive you. Her eyes lifted. Really? Yes. Then maybe, but forgiveness does not mean I can forget. She became quiet. I'm not the same Ethan anymore. Claire nodded slowly. I understand. After she left, I sat alone and thought about everything. I wanted Alexander to lose. I wanted him to feel the same pain. But I asked myself one question. If he loses everything, will my pain disappear? The answer was no. Sophia found me thinking. You are fighting yourself. Maybe. What do you want? I want peace. Then remember this. The greatest victory is not watching someone fall. What is it? Becoming someone they can never reach again. I understood. My success was not about proving Alexander wrong. It was about proving myself right. Days later, Alexander finally contacted me. Ethan. I recognized his voice immediately. Alexander. You think you won? I think the truth won. You have no idea who you are dealing with. I know exactly who I'm dealing with. You destroyed my reputation. No, your actions did that. There was silence. You were making a mistake. No, I made my mistake when I trusted people who did not value me. His voice became colder. You built something new because I allowed you to. I laughed. No, I built it because you failed to destroy me. You think this is over? No, I waited. This is just the beginning. After the call ended, I looked at Sophia. He knows. She nodded. Then prepare yourself. I took a deep breath. I am ready. I knew Alexander was dangerous. I knew he would try to take everything from me again. But this time, I was not the broken man standing alone. I had learned. I had grown. And I was finally ready for whatever came next. I looked at the documents one more time before putting them away. Ethan, do you regret anything? Sophia asked. I thought about Claire, Ryan, and every painful moment. No, I regret trusting the wrong people, but I do not regret becoming stronger. Sophia smiled. That is the answer I hoped you would find. I walked outside, knowing my life had changed forever. The man who begged for love was gone. The man who feared losing everything was gone. I was someone who had finally learned that betrayal could break my heart, but it could never break my spirit. Alexander wanted a war. I was ready to face him with truth, patience, and strength. The next chapter of my life was beginning. I knew my journey was not finished, but I finally believed I could win alone. I knew Alexander would not accept defeat quietly. People like him did not admit mistakes. They searched for someone else to blame. And this time, that person was me. The first warning came when I saw the news. Ethan Carter is a businessman driven by revenge, the headline said. I stared at the screen. He's trying to destroy innocent people to gain attention. I laughed softly. Innocent. Sophia looked at the article. He is trying to change the story. He always does. What will you do? I closed the laptop. I will let the truth speak. Sophia nodded. That is why you are winning. I'm not sure I am winning yet. You are. Why? Because you stopped becoming what hurt you. Her words reminded me how far I had come. Months ago, I wanted Alexander to suffer. Now, I only wanted justice. The final meeting was arranged with Alexander's remaining business partners. They wanted answers. When I entered the room, everyone looked at me. Alexander smiled. Ethan, I see you came prepared. I did. You think showing some old documents makes you powerful? No. I placed the files on the table. Truth makes people powerful. Alexander laughed. You are still the same emotional person. No. I am the person who finally learned from his mistakes. One of the partners opened the documents. What is this? Proof of hidden transactions and illegal agreements. Alexander immediately interrupted. Those documents mean nothing. I looked at him. Then why are you nervous? His expression changed. I am not. You are. The room became quiet. Then Ryan walked inside. I was surprised. Ryan. He looked at everyone. I need to say something. Alexander stared at him. Think carefully before you speak. Ryan ignored him. I made a mistake. I watched my old friend take a deep breath. I knew about Alexander's plans. I knew he was using me, but I stayed silent because I thought I could benefit from him. Nobody spoke. Ryan continued. I betrayed Ethan. Hearing those words hurt. Not because I did not know, but because he finally admitted it. I was wrong, Ryan said, and I cannot change what I did. But I can tell the truth now. Alexander stood up. You are going to believe him? I looked at Alexander. No, I am going to believe the evidence. The room changed after that. The people who once doubted me finally saw the truth. Alexander was losing control. You think this is over? Alexander asked. I looked at him. Yes. You have no idea what you are doing. I know exactly what I am doing. You are destroying a successful company. No, you destroyed yourself. For the first time, Alexander had nothing to say. After the meeting, I received another message from Claire. Please meet me. I stared at the message. I wanted to ignore it, but I knew I needed closure. When I met Claire, she looked broken. Not the confident person who left me. Not the person who believed money mattered more than love. Just someone carrying regret. Ethan. Claire. I heard what happened. Yes. I know I was wrong. I stayed quiet. She looked at me. Please say something. What do you want me to say? I want you to know that I regret everything. I looked away. Claire. Regret comes after consequences. I know. Do you? She nodded. Yes. Every day. Her voice shook. I lost the person who loved me the most because I was chasing something that was never real. I felt pain hearing that because a part of me still remembered loving her. I wanted to hate you, I admitted. Claire looked at me, but I could not. Why? Because I remembered who you were before everything changed. Tears filled her eyes. Can we fix this? I became silent. Ethan, please. I know I hurt you. Yes, you did. I know. You chose him when I needed you. She lowered her head. I was selfish. I looked at her. I loved you more than anything. I know. No, Claire. You knew after you lost me. She started crying. I wish I could go back. So do I. Then why can't we? Because I wanted to say yes. Because part of me missed her. Because part of me remembered our promises. But I also remembered standing alone after she walked away. I forgive you. She looked hopeful. Really? Yes. Then, but forgiveness is not the same as returning. Her expression changed. I understand. I hope you find happiness. Without you. I nodded. Yes. Claire wiped her tears. I lost someone who truly loved me. I answered quietly. And I found someone who finally respects himself. After leaving, I felt a strange peace. It hurt, but it was different. The pain no longer controlled me. A few days later, Alexander's empire completely collapsed. His partners left. His reputation disappeared. The truth finally reached everyone. Sophia looked at the reports. It is over. I nodded. Yes. How do you feel? I thought about everything. Claire, Ryan, Alexander, my old life. I thought I would feel happy. And I feel free. Sophia smiled. That is better. I looked outside. For so long, I thought winning meant making my enemies lose. I was wrong. Winning meant becoming someone who no longer needed their approval. Ryan visited me one final time. Ethan. I looked at him. I am sorry. I know. Can you forgive me? I thought carefully. Yes. His eyes widened. Really? Yes. But things cannot return to the way they were. I understand. I nodded. Some people are meant to teach us lessons, not stay forever. After he left, I sat quietly. My life had changed completely. The girl I loved chose my enemy. My best friend betrayed me. My enemy tried to destroy me. But somehow I survived. I was no longer the man they abandoned. I was the man who rebuilt himself. And now I had one final choice. Not about revenge. Not about the past. About the future I wanted to create. I used to think success would fix everything. I believed that if I became powerful enough, rich enough, and respected enough, the pain would disappear. But when I finally achieved the things I once dreamed about, I learned something important. Success could not heal my heart. Peace could. Months after everything happened, I stood in my new office and looked around. The person I saw in the reflection was not the same man who had lost everything. I was stronger. Not because I defeated Alexander, because I defeated the version of myself that believed I was worthless without someone else's love. Sophia walked into my office. You are quiet today. I smiled. I was thinking about how much everything changed. Do you regret it? I shook my head. No, not even losing Claire. I looked outside. I regret the pain, but I do not regret the lesson. Sophia smiled. That is the Ethan I wanted to see. I laughed. You mean the Ethan who stopped chasing people who walked away? Yes. I nodded. You were right. I spent too much time proving my value to people who already decided not to see it. Sophia sat down. You finally understand. Understand what? Your worth was never decided by anyone else. Her words reminded me of everything I survived. Alexander's empire was gone. The truth about his actions had destroyed everything he built. The man who once believed he was untouchable had lost his power. But I did not celebrate. I did not feel happiness from his downfall. I only felt peace. One afternoon, Claire contacted me again. Ethan, can we meet one last time? I looked at the message for a long time. Then I agreed. When I saw her, I noticed something different. She was no longer the person who chased a perfect image. She looked like someone who finally understood reality. Thank you for coming, Claire said. I thought we needed to talk. She nodded. I owe you an apology. You already apologized. I know, but I do not think I truly understood what I did. I stayed silent. Claire looked at me. I chose Alexander because I looked at what you had instead of who you were. Her voice became emotional. I thought money, status, and power were everything. And now I know I was wrong. I looked down. I wish I could go back. I sighed. So do I. Her eyes filled with tears. Do you still love me? The question was harder than I expected, because the truth was complicated. I will always care about the person you were. She looked hurt. But I cannot return to the past. Why? Because the person I was back then accepted pain just to keep someone else happy. Claire wiped her tears. I hurt you. Yes. I destroyed the person who loved me. No. She looked surprised. No. You hurt me, but you did not destroy me. I smiled slightly. I rebuilt myself. Claire looked at me with sadness. You really changed. I had to. Because of me? Because of everything. She nodded slowly. I hope you know I never wanted to lose you. But you chose to. Her eyes lowered. I know. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then Claire whispered, Can you forgive me? I looked at her. Yes. Her eyes widened. Really? Yes. Because carrying anger only keeps me connected to the past. She smiled sadly. But forgiveness does not mean we can start again. No. I shook my head. It means I can finally move forward. Claire nodded. I understand. After saying goodbye, I walked away knowing it was the final chapter of that part of my life. I returned to my office later that evening. Sophia was waiting. How did it go? It was difficult. Are you okay? I smiled. Yes. Really? Yes. Because I finally accepted something. What? That losing someone does not mean losing myself. Sophia smiled. I am proud of you. I looked around the office. This place exists because you believed in me when I did not believe in myself. I only reminded you what was already inside you. I nodded. You gave me a second chance. No, you gave yourself one. Those words stayed with me. For so long, I thought my story was about betrayal, about revenge, about proving people wrong. But I realized it was about something bigger. It was about discovering who I truly was. The girl I loved chose my enemy. My best friend betrayed me. My enemy tried to destroy me. But every painful moment pushed me toward becoming stronger. I no longer needed Claire to choose me. I no longer needed Alexander to fear me. I no longer needed anyone to prove my value. I knew it myself. I closed my office door that night and looked at the city lights. I remember the old Ethan, the man who begged people to stay, the man who thought love was enough to fix everything. I wanted to tell him something. You will lose people. You will get hurt. You will question everything. But you will survive. I smiled. Because he did. The girl I loved chose my enemy. She realized my worth too late. But by the time she understood my value, I had already learned something more important. My worth was never something someone else could give me. It was something I had inside me all along.